What's going on, guys? So, really quick, I am back upstairs in my office. Still need to finish the ceiling, but I'll get to that. So, a really short video. We're still working downstairs. It's after hours, but we're still here trying to bust ass and get stuff done. Some of these clips are going to be here and there, trying to include everything together, trying to include more so technical stuff. If I just go downstairs every day and just include pictures and a video of a car, it's not going to do anything. So, trying to focus and trying to remember, keep it kind of technical. With that being said, some stuff might be out of place here or there, and it is what it is. A lot of times I forget to record because at the end of the day, I'm not a YouTuber like that. I'm not getting paid like that, and I'm running a business, which that's the one big difference. I think if I was just focused on making YouTube content, it might be a different story. So hopefully you guys are enjoying these. Please like and share. And as I posted on the last video, if you guys got a better name than The Daily Shop Life, I'm all ears. I'm not a huge fan of that name. If you come up with an idea that I use, I'll send you something free, whatever works. Stickers, shirts, we got random stuff here. So let's hear it out. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these. Feedback is awesome. It's keeping me motivated. A lot of guys are saying they love it. They love seeing a little behind the scenes, a little here and there, and they're learning stuff, which is the main reason why I do videos, to educate you guys. So enjoy. So we have a beautiful 9-chin up on the dyno. I'll get a video when it's down, but I don't want to turn this into the dyno hour program show, but I do want to show you guys some technical stuff more so. So this car has an exhaust, but it has a stock downpipe on it. So when I tune, and I know some tuners don't do this, but I have my own O2 sensor that's hooked up to my dyno stuff, my dyno stack, whatever you want to call it. Super accurate, very expensive. Of course, O2 sensors have to. It's a maintenance wear item. So I know some other shops, they don't have their own O2 sensor, but it's just going to help the tune be perfected that much more. So now in this case, since he has a stock cat up there, he's got the primary O2 sensor still in, which I can look at that, make sure that's working, and I can also look at mine to make sure it's working. Now, keep in mind, because he does have a catalytic converter, yes, my air fuel sensor is going to read a little bit different, and it actually will start reading maybe a little bit more different as that cat heats up. As the cat gets hotter, it actually starts doing its job a little bit better. So just a little tidbit. I'll get a video, since I'm under this car, I'll get a video of it doing a pull. But I got a bunch of other cars in between. Like I said, before when I started these videos, I don't want to turn it into just me doing dyno tune after dyno tune. I do that constantly. If anyone's looking to get in here, contact us. And I'm going to go back to hooking up the O2 sensor. Hopefully that was a good explanation, because we do get a lot of people that call here too and say, hey, before I get tuned, do I need an air fuel, do I need a wideband sensor, do I need a wideband gauge? And it's like, no, you don't. I just need a spot to put the O2 sensor in. So if you have let's say a shop did your complete exhaust and they didn't put an O2 bung in there, oh, that's an issue. In that sense too though, I have a little adapter here that will actually go in your tailpipe and it will pick up the reading. But of course, when it's coming out the tailpipe, it's going to be a little bit off. And what a lot of people don't know is air will actually go back inside the exhaust at certain times, which I just have to account for on the dyno. Not the end of the world type deal. I could still get the tune pretty much 100%, but it's just another little curveball that people might not see if you're not a tuner and do this, I guess, for a living. Oh, and as I'm looking at it, these gaskets right here, notorious for blowing out. We recommend the full steel one. I don't know which, it's like a stamped steel that we have. Sooner or later, these are going to blow out. So we'll actually mention it to the customer so he has a fair warning on that. We actually upgrade the customer if the exhaust is bought from us, if they want it, to save their life, save them the hassle. This one has the same thing too, so definitely something to consider. So since I'm outside, figured I'd get this car got dropped off This one's in for a tune as well. Cool thing about this is customer dropped it off. He said get to it when you can get to it, so it's always nice on me. I'm gonna hop in this orange car. I'm gonna show you guys some stuff. Okay, so now what you guys are looking at is the air fuel sensor, which is telling you where your air fuel's at. You're looking at short-term fuel trim, and you're looking at long-term fuel trim. Now, to give a quick rundown on this is basically what the computer thinks it needs to do in order to get the air fuels where they should be. So it's commanding more fuel. If it was commanding less fuel, it actually would be a negative. A negative would show up like this map sensor. See how the negative's right there? So right now the car thinks it needs more fuel. Ultimately, the customer said it was throwing a 2 lean code. So now what we can do too is, you might ask, well, can't you just tune off this wideband? Yeah, sure, but having extra sensors is always a plus. So you can see my wideband over there reading about 14.7-ish, 14.9-ish. The stock O2 sensor is going to read a little bit different, and if you actually pull up the instructions on Honda, it actually says the stock wideband sensor will read more accurate as it heats up and as you're continuously driving. But what I will say is, I had a car not too long ago where no matter what you did, the air fuels would not drop. I think it was below 14. It looked like it was working correctly, but it wasn't. So easiest way to figure something out like that is when my O2 sensor was reading correctly, I tossed a good amount of fuel into it to see if it would change, and it would not go past 14, but mine would actually read like 12. So at that point, I diagnosed a code that the customer didn't even have. He had no check engine lights, but his O2 sensor was failing. It was going out, and sure enough, he replaced it. He messaged us back, and he said, wow, my O2 sensor actually reads lower than 14, or yeah, it was 14, I believe. So that just shows you why having extra sensors is always key. Could I, be cheap and not have my own sensor, or just be lazy and put the car on the dyno really quick so I don't have to hook up a sensor? Sure, but it's not going to help my job. I'm a perfectionist. I love to perfect what I do, and I don't see the reason of doing a job if you're going to do it half-assed. Necessarily, is it half-assed? I don't know. We can go on about that, but hopefully that was a good explanation of why I have an O2 sensor, and also ultimately too what the car is looking for and why it was throwing a 2 lean code. And then over time, as you drive, this is going to either go up or down, and when the computer in the memory says, okay, something's not right, I'm going to throw, there you go, you see it go negative, I'm going to throw a check engine light, something's wrong. And then ultimately, you got to figure out and diagnose why that is happening. He's got an intake and exhaust, so a tune by right should fix this as long as he has nothing else going on that I can't see. If he has, if you had like an intake leak, such and such like that. So we got a bandsaw over here that is cutting the downpipe for this setup. This dusty setup, this car's been here for a little bit. We're getting it back on track. Hopefully get it out here soon. Just finished my lunch, so excuse that burp. Customer wanted it at the side of the fender, or I'm sorry, bumper. So that's where that's going to be going. We have another Chevy in here. What kind of Chevy is this? Chevy Malibu. This one got brake job, sway bar end links, and we noticed a little bit of an axle clanking around too after the sway bar end links were replaced. So we're going to see if the customer wants us to do that while it's in here. And then as we go up here and the bandsaw gets a little quieter so you can hear me, we have a Nissan that we're putting the exhaust manifold back on because we had to replace the gasket. It was leaking. Also had to fix some bolts that were loose on the turbo. I'm not sure if the customers had this car and for how long, but we had to do some other stuff. We had to install this little guy. Sorry, getting in the way. I had to install that guy, and as we're installing stuff, we're seeing stuff that needs to be addressed more so. So we got that going on inside. Inside we have the drift brake that we did. We mounted it up. We have a nice plate, which we actually have we have our own kits for this. So if you're interested, message us. He bought a shifter. I think it was an eBay brand or Amazon brand, no, or a no-name brand off Amazon or eBay. Didn't want to fit correctly. I'm not sure if the tech got it to work. I don't know if this is the old one. I'm not sure on that one. I got to touch base with them. They're working. And the only reason that I'm doing a video right now is because I need to play catch up a little bit. I've been super slammed myself. You'll see that the customer had this originally. Now, this is also, I think, from Amazon. What the issue with this is the cup, the reservoir cup is not attached, and trying to find the thread pitch for the actual cup, it's impossible for us. It doesn't list anything, so I told him it would be more, it would be his best option when it comes to price, instead of me trying to sit there, buy fittings, seeing if they work, and charging the customer for something like that, because time is money. Tell him just to buy another one with the cup on there. So we got that going on. We have our own little kit, our own little line that taps into the back of the brakes to make it easy. We got a couple ways of doing this too, though. And you could do it a couple ways. What I'm trying to also get here too is, so you'll see this bolt. What this bolt actually will do is it's going to adjust the flex on the whole shifter itself. So if it flexes too much as you're pushing it, or you want it to flex a little bit more, I'm trying to, when you're all the way back, when you're all the way back, it's gonna flex a little bit. Well, if you want it to not flex so much, you simply adjust that and tighten it so it's pushing up a little bit more how it should be. So just a nice little cool thing we do. And yes, we do Nissans, and yes, we do drift cars. And I don't know if this is one of his older shifters. Originally, it didn't come with the bushing either, or the bushing was wrong. Long and the short like that is, whenever you're buying parts like on Amazon, eBay, it makes our life a little bit harder. And yeah, so that's what we got going on in this car. We're gonna clean up some of the wiring too, because we had the whole dash out. Not the whole dash, but just the middle portion and such. We did a downpipe on this car too, so we finished welding that up. We did some coilovers, which originally too, he didn't buy the coilovers that came with the top hats, which can't use the stock top hat. He couldn't use the top hats that he had on the car because he had other coilover brands on there. So that was a little bit of a pain as well. So now I think we have everything we're gonna need, so we're gonna try to wrap this one up soon and get this one out of here. And when he gets done with the downpipe over here on this car, we got the Vega still up in the air, waiting for wheel adapters. As he gets done with this, I'll come back and I'll show you guys how we route it and how we have it set up. And then I'll show you guys something else too that's very important when you're doing a downpipe out the side of the, in front of the tire. So before it gets crazy loud in here, I wanted to show you guys the downpipe all mocked up. Like I said, customer wanted it out the bumper area. Now what I have to talk to him about, and actually we put a V-bend there so it will come off easily and you don't have to take the bumper off. But what I need to talk to him about is see if he wants it just like this, if he wants it turned up. Rule of thumb though with this is you always want it past the tire in case something were to happen. You know, let's say the turbo wants to shoot some oil out or the engine wants to shoot some oil out. If you get that on your tire while you're doing a good mile per hour, it will throw you right into the wall. So that's a big safety thing. But yeah, that's pretty much done for now. If he wants a different kind of tip, we'll see what he wants to do. We might just leave it like that, might do a turn up. Up front we have that Chevy that is getting an axle. It had a slight little click, so we're doing the axle on it right now. Seemed like every time you came to a stop, it made a little clunking noise, so got that going on early in the morning. So now I have this head on my bench, and what we're actually doing right now is we're checking to see how well the valves are actually sealing. So if you could see the water. Basically, this is a simple test you could do at home. This is not going to be the ultimate test. If you want to bring it to a machine shop, they'll pressure check it, but this will give you an idea if you have something going on with the valves not sealing properly. Now, you can see these are actually sealed up pretty decent. No water's leaking through. If water was leaking through, you'd see them down in these ports. It would actually be trickling down. If I can't turn on my light. Hold on one second. So okay, I got my light on. You would be able to see it trickling down there. Now, this cylinder actually, let me see. This cylinder, it is wet in there, but it's because the water is actually coming down off the head. Pretty dry. Of course, you'd want to check the other side too, and then if you're trying to save money and just maybe replace the maybe one side of the valves. I always recommend though, if you have a cylinder that's got some bad valves, just to replace them all. I mean, they're cheap enough too. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the head for flatness, and I'll show you how I do that. So you can see we have the straight edge on the head, and we have the feeler gauge, which is 0.002, that it needs to not fit underneath, and you can kind of see right here. Right here, if I do it with it, see how it kind of slides. So the head is actually clean. It is still wet, but there's no debris on there or whatever. So this head needs to be decked. You can see how it goes under there smooth too. So that's how you check a head for flatness. Not only do you check it like that, you basically make an X. So you'll check it this way as well. You'll do the same exact thing. And you'll keep doing it. And then you do one straight across too. So you could see in that one spot. Sorry, I'm trying to work and get a video. You can see in that one spot was the kind of the issue more so. So yeah, checking a head out.